All right, this is SREB, Ready for High School Math, Lesson 2.2b, continuing our discussion on solving two-step equations. Okay, so the last couple lessons have been going through one-step equations and two-step equations, so now we're going to do a little bit of a recap with two-step equations going into today's lesson. So, number one, we have 5z plus 16 equals 51. Okay, so with the two-step equations, we're always looking for first what is being added or subtracted. Okay, because 9 times out of 10, when we have these two-step equations, that's going to be the first thing we're going to want to undo. So we have 5z plus 16. We're eventually going to get the z alone. Before that, we need to get the 5z alone. So in order to do that, we need to get everything that is not 5z away from 5z. So we have plus 16. To get rid of the plus 16, we'll subtract it. And we'll be left with 5z will be equal to 51 minus 16, which will be 35. Okay, so now we need to get the z alone. So we have 5 times z. To undo the 5 times, we'll do divided by 5. Cancel out on the left-hand side. We're left with z, which will be equal to 7. Okay, number 2. N over 4 minus 7 equals 28. Okay, so once again, we're looking for something being added or subtracted. Okay, so we have minus 7. So to undo minus 7, we'll do plus 7. Draw a line through that equal sign. Okay, so cancel out on the left. We get n over 4 is equal to 35. So now to undo this n over 4. So n is being divided by 4. So to undo divided by 4, we're going to multiply by 4. Now keep in mind, when we do this multiply, this is not 4 times 4. This is 4 times 1 over 4. Okay? N over 4 is the same thing as 1n over 4. So when we multiply, when you type this in the calculator, you type in that left side, you're doing 4 times 1/4, not 4 times 4. So 4 times a fourth will give you just 1n, and then 35 times 4 will give you 140. Okay, number 3. 8 plus 3n over 12 equals 13. Okay, so we look first at things being added or subtracted to the variable, and we have this 8. So to get rid of the 8, we'll subtract 8 on both sides. We're left with 3n over 12 is equal to 5. Okay, so keep in mind, 3n over 12, this could be the same thing as 3 over 12 times n. Okay, so if we wanted to, we could pull out that n as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. 3n over 12 is the same thing as 3 over 12 times n. So if we have 3 over 12 times n, to undo times, we're going to divide. So we will divide both sides by 3 over 12. Now keep in mind, anytime we divide by a fraction, we're going to put that fraction in parentheses. So 3 over 12 divided by 3 over 12, this will all become just 1n. And then 5 divided by 3 over 12, this will become 20. Okay, next up. Okay, so number 4. So they walked us through 7 over 8p minus 4 equals 10. Step by step, we need to fill in the reasons. Okay, so this first line, 7 over 8p minus 4 equals 10. We haven't done anything to it yet. This was a statement that was given to us in the beginning. Okay, so the next step they did here was they added 4 to get the 7 over 8p alone. So they used addition in order to accomplish this step. And then after using addition, they were given a new equation, 7 over 8p equals 14. So this was a new equation that we could substitute in place of the original equation. Okay, so now from here to get p alone, in this next step, they divided both sides by 7 over 8. So they used division to complete this step. And then in doing that, they got the new statement, p equals 16, and this p equals 16 is another statement that we could substitute in for the previous two. Okay, so now we'll go through and we'll do number 5 in a similar fashion. We'll work it out step by step, and then out beside here, we'll write our reasons afterwards. Okay, so we have 4b plus 8 divided by negative 2 equals 10. Okay, so this one was a little bit different. Okay, this one is not like any of them we've seen so far in the review. So normally we're going to look for something that is being added or subtracted first, but in this case, the entire left side is in a fraction. Okay, so in this special case, when the entire left side is in a fraction, our first step is no longer get rid of the addition or the subtraction. Our first step is get rid of the fraction first, okay? And this is only when the entire side is in a fraction, okay? So over here, we have 7/8p, so there's a fraction, but the entire thing wasn't in a fraction. So we just worked it out like normal. But with this one, with the entire left side being over -2, we need to undo that first. So the entire left side is being divided by -2. So to undo that, we're going to multiply by -2 on both sides. Okay, so over here, this will be -2 times -1/2. We left with 4b plus 8 is equal to -20. Okay, now from here, we can work it out. So 4b plus 8, get rid of the plus 8 by subtracting it. We get 4b equals -28. And then we'll get b alone by dividing by 4, and we're left with b equals -7. So now we go through and write down what we did in each step. So we started out with 4b plus 8 over -2 equals 10. This is our given statement. And then kind of simultaneously in our given statement, in order to get to that next step, we had to multiply. We had to use multiplication, multiply by -2 to get this new statement, 4b plus 8 equals -20, which we could substitute in place of the original. Then from this step, we had to subtract -8 from both sides. And then in subtracting -8, subtracting 8, we got 4b equals -28. So this was another case of where we got a new equation that we could substitute in place of the old one. And then to finally get b alone, we had to use division. And then in doing that, we got a new statement, b equals -7, and this was another statement that we could substitute in place of the old ones. Okay? Number 6, a number is doubled and then 5 is subtracted. This expression is then divided by 3, and the result is 25. What is the original number? Okay? So this is us taking a phrase, an English phrase, and translating it into math, and then working out the problem. So let's look at this first sentence. A number is doubled, and then 5 is subtracted. Okay, so we have some number. Okay, anytime we see a number, we know that's our variable. Okay, so we use x. Now, if I double a number, that means the same thing as multiplying it by 2. So I have 2x, a number is doubled. And then 5 is subtracted. So we're to assume that the 5 is being subtracted from the 2x. Okay, so that's that first sentence, 2x minus 5. This expression is then divided by 3. So the entire thing will be divided by 3. Not just the 2x, not just the -5, but the entire expression. And the result is 25, or saying that after I go through this is equal to 25. Okay? So we need to figure out what is the original number. Well, so notice, we're going to work this one out similar to how we did number 5 up here. Okay? So the entire left side is being divided by 3. So we're going to knock that out first, and we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides. Okay, so this will be 3 times 1/3. These will cancel out and be left with 2x minus 5 will be equal to 25 times 3, which will give me 75. Okay, from here I will add 5 to both sides. I'll bring my work over here, and I'll get 2x is equal to 80. And then I will divide by 2, and I will get x is equal to 40. Okay. Number 7. The perimeter of the following rectangle is 112. What is the value of x, and what are the dimensions of the rectangle? So for this one, we require a little bit of prior knowledge coming into this class. Okay. So with a rectangle is a 4-sided shape known as a quadrilateral that has 2 sets of congruent sides. And what that means is that the sides that are directly across from each other are congruent. And the way we show congruence is we put these little tick marks. Okay, so if 2 sides have the same number of tick marks, that means that they are to be congruent. So if this side has 1 tick mark and it's 2x minus 9, any other side that also has 1 tick mark is also going to be, or have a length of 2x minus 9. Okay, this side has a length of 3x and has 2 tick marks. So any other side that has 2 tick marks also has a length of 3x. Okay, to keep in mind, the perimeter is the outside border. Okay, so if I add up all of these outside edges, that'll be the perimeter of this rectangle. So let's add them all up. We have 3x plus 3x, so I have two 3x's, plus 2x minus 9 plus 2x minus 9, because again, I have two 2x's minus 9. And then the actual perimeter, we're told, is 112. So we can add all these up and set it equal to 112. Okay, so from here, we'll combine our like terms. 3x, 3x, 2x, and 2x give me overall 10x. Minus 9 gives me overall minus 18. This will be equal to 112. Okay, so now we have a two-step equation. We need to first add 18. This will give us 10x equals 130. And then divide by 10. So we'll get x is equal to 13. Okay, so we solve for x. Now we have to figure out how to solve for the length and the width. Got to figure out the length and the width. Okay, well, so the length is normally considered how long is a rectangle, so we can call the 3x the length. And the width, how wide is it? That'll be the 2x minus 9. So to figure out the length and the width, we are going to plug in our value of x into these two expressions. So the length will be 3 times 13, and this will be 39. And then the width will be 2 times 13 minus 9. So it'll be 26 minus 9 will give me 17. So the rectangle will have a length of 39 and a width of 17.